So we think that the best thing to do is that the political parties at this stage should actually come together and see how they can begin to rescue the state of South Sudan. Because the continuation of this situation is, will result in a situation where we don't have a state. Our state will not be there. So it is better that for the political parties to come down and take this responsibility to rescue the South Sudan from a total collapse. It is very important at this stage. And it is good that we really support what has been proposed by political parties, especially even from the SPLM-IO, SPLM-IG, even from SAWA and others, that there should be a dialogue. And even recently, when Samabomba, the president of South Africa came, he was talking about the dialogue. People must talk, that dialogue. Even the RJMEC, they are talking that there should be a dialogue. Political parties dialogue. And I think this is a very important situation. This is a new thing. We support dialogue. We think that it is more important at this stage that people should actually sit down, political parties, sit down and dialogue. And for what do we think about the dialogue? In our case, the dialogue should not be like what they took place in the high-level revitalization forum or the IGAD. It did not do anything. Nor do we support the dialogue of the national dialogue. Because in the end, what happened, we don't know the result of it. It was not implemented. So we want to have what we think of it should be in the form of a workshop. And should involve all the political parties. Not only the registered political parties, nor the secretary to the political party, but any person who is a political party should be there. And even the stakeholders who are involved in the revitalized agreement, they should also be involved. And this workshop should take a period of about 6 months. A continuous workshop, people discussing issues related to our problems in South Sudan, whether the question of inclusivity, the question of freedom of the press, all these things, the question of economic development, the recovery, all these things which are the people should come down and begin to discuss this thing. And it should be a serious discussion. And this discussion should take place under the auspices of UNIMIS and the AU. Why do I say so? Because so that you give it some strength. Because we have tried the dialogue among ourselves in nationalized, it has no result. And then when I say that we want it to be under the UNIMIS and AU, we also give them the responsibility of resourcing it, to fund it. They fund this thing. And then they come up with, when in that 6 months period, we may start in April. And for 6 months, we come to an end. In that 6 months period, we should have reached a consensus of formation of a government, a lean government, of what? Of technocrats, a lean government of technocrats from the academia and the civil service, academia and civil service. And these people who will form this government should not have taken position under the revitalized agreement. They should not be members, or even from the parliament. They should be new people from the academia, from the civil service. They come and have a rule. This government should take 5 years. The government should take 5 years because we have a lot of things to put right. The damage we have come to South Sudan, it needs a long time to come to a minimum level of some semblance of a government, of a country, of services. So we give them the 5 years. They let them have this 5 years to work into this thing. And they will have a prime minister, executive prime minister. And this executive, and them at the same time, they will also form this government will also form the governments of the states and the three administrative areas. In the same way, they will, because they will be discussing all these things. And we say in the end that our president is now a symbol of our country, an icon of South Sudan. The General President Salva Kiir Mayardit is our symbol. He cannot. We want him to remain as in position because he's a symbol of this country with sovereign authorities, sovereignty authorities, like meeting the ambassadors, putting them, like that, but not the executive powers. This, in short, is our proposal. In short, is our proposal.
Okay, if I get you right, just to make sure that I'm picking the right things, you said we should have a citizen government which should be headed by the Prime Minister.
Yes.
And the President
is a ceremonial president.
Will remain a ceremonial president. Okay? And dialogues to establish the government will have to take a 6-month period.
Yes.
And this civilian
If
government...
they can reach agreement within 4 months or 5 months, there's no problem.
And this civilian government should be given 5 years.
Yes, the government, they will be having 5 years. Because we have a lot of things to put. As for the political parties, they go back to the constituencies, begin building their parties, getting their members. Okay. No political party will be in this government. No member of the political party will be in this government. I mean, as a party, no party representation. It will be from the academia and the civil service.
Okay. And now that you don't like it, because you said there is no extension and there should be no election, but you are proposing a civilian government to be in place. When do you expect this civilian government?
At the end, because this period, until the end of the roadmap, we still have some months, we still have some other months. So even before that, in 4-6 months, the roadmap will still be working. And this period will remain just where they form their institutions. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Yeah, and by saying all this, you are saying that right now your party, as a communist parties, is not actually preparing for the election, or the executive election or parliamentary election, but is preparing to establish civilian.
Thank you for this question. This is a very important question. Even last time, with the roadmap, before the roadmap, we said that if these critical tasks were supposed to be done at that time, we would go for election. The same thing we say today, now in front of you. If the critical tasks can be done before the election in December, we are for elections. We are ready for elections. But I'm saying that election at this time, with the critical position not good, if they are done, then we have no other reason to refuse. But still the problem is that they are not being done. If they are not done, then there is no point to go in the constitutional arrangements. You cannot go to a without the constitution. We even the demarcation of the constituencies is not there, the census is not there. There are people who have been born, and when in 2010 they were. Now at this time they are eligible for voting. Are you going to deny them this thing? They are right under the constitution. That under the constitution, this person has a right to vote, and you do not count him. That's not going to be correct. If today they can do these things, and we are ready for elections.
Okay, just to cross from there, is your party campaigning?
Yes, campaigning in the world where they know political space, you know the type of campaigning we are doing. Yes. Now this one, the one we are talking to, is another way of campaigning. Because to go to We have been asking. We asked for many times for a political rally. We were not allowed. We were not allowed. I went to Europe and I was arrested when I was meeting with my party members.
When
I
was
was
that?
2013, 2000 and yes, in 12 I think, yes, about that time, and I was arrested.
And you did not try again up to this year?
No, but I used to go to other, but I don't go and call the meeting. I don't have a big meeting of the people. I meet individual people and talk. We are in a way working under, we're under like the underground, in a situation where there is a political freedom. We should not be working with hiding ourselves.
Now, what do you expect actually for you to be able to go out and call the people and then all
Yes, a political phase is just even you people in the press. There are things which you cannot talk about. There are things which you are not. If you are talking about the owner of the press will say no, don't talk. This thing is not for publishing. Cannot be published. There is restrictions, very clear. We need not to be the only example. There are so many examples actually of people who are not allowed to express themselves and to propagate for their own views. Nothing.
If that is the case, how are you going to get the people on the board in case election is coming and you are to participate in? Because I believe people have not known Communist Party now.
I have been elected to the parliament by the people in 1986, and it was an election for the intellectual group. I was elected in Wol, and our people even there are people who contest even in Wol, in Juba here, in Malacca. We contest. Communist Party is not. Maybe we are not. And then I have been elected to the parliament.